know what is what.
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
This is Cult of the Living Dead.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Cult of the Living Dead. Today, we are covering the 2001 animated film Waking Life. I am your host, The Dale, followed by my two co-hosts, Mr. Saya.
Am I still dreaming?
And Twan.
What up?
Just a quick reminder, guys, we are a cult movie podcast. We cover cult classics, B movies, and horror. None of us are professionally trained in movie critique, but we all love movies, so opinions are subjective. But thanks for joining us and enjoy the ride. All right, Waking Life, 2001 movie directed by Richard Linklater, who I've actually seen a lot of his movies. So he did the Before series, which is like a really interesting like movie franchise. Have you guys seen any of the Before movies?
No. What is that?
So he did there's Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight, and they're filmed like I think like 10 years apart from each other. It's Ethan Hawke's character in this movie, him and Julie Depley. Those characters are from the Before series, so they make a cameo in this movie. So it films them in the 90s when they meet, and then in the 2000s when they're like together and like a couple, and then when they're like parents and shit. So like looks like it's like a 3 movie about the relationship, but it's filmed like years apart from each other, I think to show them kind of aging. And he also did a similar idea with the movie Boyhood, where he filmed it over I think like 12 years, and it follows the same character. Boy. Yeah, the same boy, and it gets him at actual different age groups instead of getting different actors to portray the same character.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
He does really crazy, like artsy stuff. Like, is this movie super artsy? But then he did Dazed and Confused also.
Yeah, School of Rock,
which are awesome comedy movies.
Scanner Darkly,
Bad News Bears.
Scanner Darkly is a little bit on the avant-garde side. I feel like it uses the same animation style as this movie.
Yeah.
That's a good one. A Scanner Darkly. That's a good underrated RDJ movie. I think Keanu's in that movie too, huh?
Robert Downey Jr. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? He wrote all those movies.
Bad News Bears.
Oh yeah, he did the one with Billy Bob, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like that movie too.
Yeah, he's a solid. I didn't realize that he did all these movies. I enjoy his work.
It's crazy. His movies are either like very artsy or like late teen, young adult comedy movies. It seems like that's his wheelhouse.
Yeah, like a coming of age story.
Yeah, exactly.
Perhaps because it was he who was becoming of age.
He came all over his age.
Indeed. Indubitably. The music was by Glover Gill, and the art was by Bob Sebastian.
Fucking Bob, dude.
Fucking bang hard for those dudes.
I like the art in this movie. It was pretty crazy. Some scenes were like really like trippy.
Yeah.
I like how different art just like used for different like conversations or different themes or whatever the fuck they're talking about.
I would like to watch this movie on some type of altering substance just for the visuals, because the visuals are really cool.
So the movie stars Wiley Wiggins, who plays main character. He was also in Dazed and Confused and The Faculty. We have Jesse Wallace, played by Ethan Hawke. He was in Training Day, the Before series. Most recently, he was a bad guy in Moon Knight. We have Celine, played by Julie Depley. She was also in the Before series and 2 Days in Paris. But the rest of the people in the movie, I think, are like other filmmakers, philosophers, and like personalities, right?
Seems like it.
Yeah.
It's not like a lot of like actors.
No.
Yeah, it felt like they got a bunch of professors together and
just interviewed them.
Like they're just having casual conversations with them, and they're just dropping some mad fucking words on us.
I'll
And
give
it's
that to this movie. Oh, go ahead, Twan.
Give it
I
to
was
him.
just gonna say, like, I'd never really seen anything like this where each segment kind of it almost started like in the middle of a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it kind of lost me in like the first, I don't know, half of the movie. I was like, how is this all connected? Because each conversation just felt so different, and it felt like we were just like butting in on someone's conversation mid sentence.
I think in the group chat, Sayas said that like I think I need to watch this again.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree. I feel like this movie deserves a second watch because not knowing what to expect, watching it, and then like you said, like the first half trying to adjust my brain to be like, okay, this isn't really a movie.
Yeah.
So now that I know that, I'd like to watch it again to try and find the through line philosophically from beginning to end because I didn't really
Mhm.
pick up on it till like the second half when I like was like, oh, okay, this is just some directors like passion project going through these different like philosophical thoughts, but I didn't really catch on to that as fast enough as I think I should have. So like the
Same.
first half of the movie is a little bit of a blur. What were you gonna say, Matt? I interrupted you. Good.
I did watch this movie twice. I watched it the night before we were going to do our original, and then I watched it last night. And I feel like watching it last night, I was able to see like a general, like a light, really light through line of like what the story was trying to say at the beginning, and you kind of get it in like a couple of the lectures that are going on. But I think it's because it starts at like a really wide, like existential, like thought and idea of like what is life, and then it gets kind of like deeper as it goes through.
All right, let's get into our first impressions, histories with this movie. I guess me and Twan will go first, and then we'll finish with you, since you've seen it twice. So I have never heard of this movie. I've heard of the director. Like when we saw the trailer for this movie, like the first thing I thought was like, oh, I expected this movie to be kind of like a Scanner Darkly because I've seen that movie because it looks similar and it's by the same director.
Yeah.
They're not. It's not really like that movie at all. But I thought the animation looked cool. And from the trailer, I had no idea what to expect. And even watching it and having seen it, I'm still a little confused by the movie. But I'm glad I watched it. I think it was an interesting film. Give my full review later. What about you, Twan?
No previous history with this movie. I mean, I don't even know how this movie got on the list, but
Who put
the
this here?
the
I did. I
wheel
put in all the animated movies on the list.
the wheel made a choice, and yeah, I mean, I would never have known about this movie after doing the after research. I like seeing this director and how many films I've actually seen of his was cool, I guess. But yeah, didn't know anything about this movie. Probably never would have seen this movie outside of the podcast. Didn't really know what to expect. I know we saw the trailer last week. Still had more questions. Was just like, what the fuck is this actually going to be about? It just looked like a one. I don't know, one of those trippy animated movies like A Scanner Darkly, and come to find out it's the same fucking director. But yeah, didn't really know anything about this movie. Went into it with a clean slate.
What about you, Seth?
Seen this movie twice in my life,
Yeah.
and can't get that time back. But what I can do is I can move forward and I can share my experience with others so they could know what I went through. So they may or may not have to. Movie was weird, man. I mean, we'll get into our reviews later, but the visuals, like number one, I think the visuals pulled me in for sure. Because the visuals are really sick. I'm a big visual guy. I love looking at things. I like using my eyeballs. And so this is a movie that makes you look at stuff, also makes you think of things. And so that I wasn't expecting that part. I was expecting something a little bit different, but I think the second time was a little bit easier to digest, just because I already knew what was happening. So Second time was a little bit easier. First time was a little bit more rough.
I mean, the first watch, well, I mean, my only watch, I felt like I was trying too hard to figure out what the fuck the story was about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And in that mindset, like it took away from being able to actually digest the conversations that are being had. Because so much of my focus was like what, where, when, who, why.
I also, it's not like I fully digested everything, but I feel like I kind of understood, like, kind of why the conversations were happening in that way. And even then, like, a lot of the concepts in this movie, I feel like you would hear in an advanced philosophy class, like not intro philosophy. It's like philosophy 408, like deep, deep philosophical thoughts. Like this is like yeah. So and they were hard for me because I'm not a big like deep philosophy guy. I mean, I enjoyed that class, but I enjoyed like the intro to philosophy. Like, would you murder one person to save a train of like 100 people? Like that stuff is cool. But when you get to like the deep existentialism and like dreams and like waking life, like all that's kind of it. I get it and it's cool. And I think it would probably be cooler if I knew like everything and knew all the references that they were talking about. But yeah, I'm not that guy.
Yeah, this movie is very intelligent,
Yeah. Yeah.
super intelligent, super deep.
Yeah. I feel like there should be like a supplemental reading assigned to this movie. Like what's my fucking, can you give me a handout or like something of this movie? Because there's a lot. Like I like they reference a couple of philosophers kind of consistently through the movie, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And I didn't look him up.
Yeah, I feel like this is definitely one of those movies that isn't so much like based on opinions. There's just so much fact that's well, not even fact, just like theories thrown at us, and there's no like plot or anything like that for us to have these you know, big opinions on.
It's almost like I think this probably would have helped by them at least pointing out which philosophical thought is being referenced. Like, is this guy a nihilist? Is this guy communist? Is this a socialist ideology? Is this like populist? Like what is it that we're dealing here? Because we get like only tidbits of some
Yeah.
of these like philosophical thought. So it's like, is this like what philosophy is this being tied to? Is this like just a summarization of their idea of what do they define waking life as? Is just like being here, well, being conscious while not being here, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was definitely an advanced movie. Like
it was. It was.
yeah.
I left it after the movie finished. I was like, this movie was pompous. This movie's pompous as fuck.
Damn.
Damn.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's what I felt. But looking back at it, I'm like, it was kind of cool. It was just like it was a lot, but it was cool. I haven't come in contact with this kind of like, oh, I feel kind of dumb while watching this. It's grad school. So I was just like I have a base knowledge understanding of like some philosophy, you know. There was a point in time while reviewing the movie where I just started writing down quotes that I liked and I found interesting and just kind of like reflected on for a little bit. And I was like, that's actually kind of cool. And I just like wrote it down. But I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work when we're talking about the movie because I'm just gonna read a quote and just be like, what'd you guys think of that?
Yeah, I mean,
Nice. There was a couple of points of time when I think you said like their voices kind of flowed together really nice. There was, I think, I don't remember what guy it was because also the scenes just kind of all blend. They just
They
cut
do
from like
blend a lot.
they cut from like scene to scene. But there's a dude who sounds like Mulder from X Files. But there is a dude who has the same like cadence as Mulder, David Duchovny's character from the X Files. And sometimes in the X-Files, like Mulder will just go off on like a random ass tangent on like some like real deep shit. And I felt like it was that exact same thing.
As like smart as this movie is, it was a visual spectacle, and I think that like a lot of times the animation style kind of fit with the conversation that was being had at the time. Like the one, I guess, conversation that I can attribute that to is the like the super sciencey guy, and like he's very expressionistic with his like hand movements, and he's like tapping on the table, and it's like he's being distorted in a way that I don't know, it was believable that his face would move like that when he was talking.
Yeah, the animation was great. Well, I guess because what they did was it's all filmed live and then they animate over the live footage. So I think that helped with the realism, while also it looking very surreal at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw all the live footage in a YouTube video. It's pretty
Oh, you did?
cool. Yeah.
That's
Nice.
cool.
Well, not like the whole
Yeah,
movie, but like clips
of it.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Oh,
Yeah,
man,
it
I
looked
should've
like it
done
was
that.
filmed on like a, I don't know, like a camcorder.
It's the first digitally rotoscoped movie, so I think it probably was digital film. All right, should we get started? I guess working through some of these ideas in the movie.
Yeah.
All right. So the movie pops off with these kids playing. Should look that up. What's that paper game called where you put the four corners in your finger and then you ask questions and then you do the. I don't know. It's
Yeah, it's like a cone.
yeah, it looks like a cone. It's like a spaceship from Halo, kind of.
And you open it up, like you pick a number and then you like open it
Mhm.
different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that called? I don't know. Well, it's just called the kids play. They're just the paper game kids. So the girl asks the boy a bunch of questions, and then the paper game ends with his answer being "Dream is destiny." And then a comet flies by in the sky, and the boy starts floating into the sky. While this violist and piano just start like getting down. It's like it's real fucking out there, like right off the bat.
Yeah.
And I thought this was a cool transition into the main. We introduced our main character, and he's just like on a train. Does he wake up from sleeping on the train, or is he just sitting there? I don't remember.
I think he's just sitting there.
He's just sitting on the train, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it starts with him just sitting on a train.
And then this guy in like a boat car comes up, and he's like, "Yo, man, you need a ride?" He's like, "I mean, I was just like waiting for the taxi or whatever, but yeah, cool, dude, I'll take a ride." I'm like, "All right, cool." So then the boat guy just like hits him up with his fucking philosophy, and he's like, "What does he say?" He's like a boatman, and like his whole world is like in personality or right there in that boat car thing. Like that's who he is.
Mhm.
So that's why he is that way, because he's just being him. And he says, "What we remain in a state of constant departure while always arriving." It's pretty poignant. I thought that was interesting.
Dropping the quote. What do you think about that?
What do you
Think
think?
about
What do you
that.
guys think about this?
Being in a
Poignant.
constant state of departure while always arriving.
Because he just starts mouthing off the main character. Like these are like the whole movie is just characters talking towards main character and him like
Yeah.
absorbing different people's like perspective on life.
Yeah.
He gets he doesn't like know where he wants to be dropped off. So there's another passenger in the boat guy who's actually the director. That's Richard Linklater. And he tells him, "Oh, let's drop him off on this corner." And he's like, "Okay, whatever." So they drop him off this random corner. He sees a piece of paper on the ground. He picks it up, opens it up in the middle of the road, middle of a crossroads, and it says "Look left." And he looks left, and he gets hit by a car, and then he wakes up. So I think this is kind of the what I left the movie with. I don't know, spoiler alert. Was this like an enter the void kind of movie? Was this his life flashing before his eyes and him dying? Because this comes up multiple times about how your brain has like 12 seconds of life when you're dying, but your synapses are firing so fast that it can theoretically has the compute power to record X amount of years of time so you can relive your entire life within those 12 seconds. And he never wakes up by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So was this first sequence the real world? And up until that point, him getting hit by the car was him dying?
Mm, I don't think so because it's a boat car. I feel like he's already dreaming in this I guess sequence because that's a it's a boat car. That's got to be a dream, right? And then the whole like the guy in the back like I want you to take the next left, go down 4 blocks and then a right and then a left and then we're gonna drop him off at that corner. Like
That was
that
weird.
felt like a dream.
Not only was that weird, but like, why? I don't think any reasonable person, unless I mean, some people live life the way that it comes to them, and that is a thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like most people wouldn't just be like, "What the fuck, dude? I'm not going to this random ass corner that you can take me. I'm gonna get fucking jumped. Like, I'm gonna get robbed. Like, what are you talking about?" Like, it's weird because he gets there, he tries to call his friend on a payphone before he goes outside. He kind of has a moment with some random chick. She comes up later. And his buddy doesn't answer. He's like, "All right, well, I guess you're at work or whatever. I'll try you later." And then he's just like, "Well, I don't really know what I'm gonna do, so I guess I'll just let this dude drop me off somewhere random." I feel like most people wouldn't let them do that, and it sounds like he's either from out of town visiting somebody or coming back home. So you would think you would know of something to do to kill some time with around the city that you're at, not just get dropped off at some random corner by some random person in some weird ass fucking boat car, which is super weird to begin with.
Yeah. And I think that's what kind of is a tell that it's a dream because he's just so willing to just like go along with it.
Yeah, I feel like the first half of the movie, he doesn't really have any agency. He's just kind of going where everything else is taking him.
His mind, he's like
yeah.
going where his mind is leading him.
And it's also where he realizes that he's asleep, where he actually starts to try and like take control of what's happening to him.
Yeah.
Having seen this movie twice, I had two different ideas of like what happened, and even now I'm still not even sure of like what was really happening. My first watch through, I thought that he died when he like got hit by the car. But my second watch, I'm wondering if he was already like gone and everything that we're seeing is a dream immediately from the beginning. Like those little kids, I think maybe he was that little boy and he was already like because he floats away, like he was already in the dream because he just saw himself as like a little kid. And then the second part, the when he picks up the note and it says look left.
Mm-hmm.
How would you pick up a note and the note just like says that already? You know what I mean? I feel like
That's true. That's pretty random.
Yeah, I feel like it was already part of like the dreaming sequence. So yeah, and especially because the like you said, like the boat guy, like he immediately starts dropping some like philosophical knowledge. And then at the very end, when he's like, "Where is that going to take me?" I think the boat dude says, "I don't know, but it's going to determine the rest of your life."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then he gets out.
He says, I wrote it down. He says, "I don't know, but it's somewhere and it's going to determine the rest of your life."
Yeah. And then he immediately gets like hit by a car. Yeah. I just think I think that he was already dreaming. Like he's already stuck in this like dream world, and I think the beginning, well, we can talk about it more, but I think in this beginning portion, he's trying to like figure out like what's going on. And so that's why all these different people are like talking to him.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I agree with that. I mean, I feel, I don't know about you guys, everyone falls asleep differently, but like he was starting to dream. He was thinking about himself as a kid. And then this comes into play at the end of the movie. But when the kid's floating up, the kid holds on to the door handle and like it doesn't allow himself to like drift off. And then the whole music part, to me, that felt like, I don't know, maybe he was listening to music trying to fall asleep. And that's like one of the last things that he heard. So it was like a transitional piece. You know, he was listening to music and that kind of eased him into like the full dream state. And then that's when all the dream stuff started happening. The guy in the boat, him getting hit by the car, the fucking random note on the floor.
I have a theory about him holding on and not like floating off. But to talk about that, there's another theory that's introduced like towards the very end of the movie, and I think it kind of ties that together to bring that idea kind of full circle. But I like that you mentioned it now because I think the way it begins is kind of the way it ends. In some type of way. So yeah.
Yeah.
He falls asleep. He wakes up and he goes to school. And this was I was like, okay. I guess this kind of sets the course for the rest of the movie because he's like, it seems like he's in a philosophy class. The teacher is like lecturing about
Existentialism.
Existentialism, and then he goes off and he's walking with the professor and they like have lunch together. So I thought of, and I was like, okay, it's gonna be like one of those movies where he's gonna have like a relationship, like a Good Will Hunting type of movie, but it isn't. So this is just what the movie becomes from this point on. He has a discussion with the professor.
It was informative and captivating. I don't know too much about all these like theories or anything like that, but a lot of these conversations were easy to listen to.
Yeah, and the first, I guess, talking about like a general through line, the first two conversations, like the boatman and then the professor, the boatman is kind of talking about how he doesn't like have to choose because he's a boatman, like he just is the boatman because of the boat that he's driving. But the second guy, the professor dude, he's saying that we all like make choices based on what we're doing. And so they're kind of like they're tied in together. It's just there's so much content that you have to like really analyze and think about what they're saying. Otherwise, I mean, my first watch, I was just like, what the fuck? And
it just goes right over your head.
Yeah.
Like I picked and chose like what
you were focusing on.
I think otherwise it's so hard to like pinpoint which conversations were had and where they were had,
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's the blonde woman, she talks about words, right? And I think she's the one who says like our perception is the way. No, I don't remember. I'm blanking out.
Oh yeah, words are a symbol. What perceives is unspeakable.
Yeah. I kind of like that idea.
Oh, I did take notes on all three of them then.
But in my notes, it's funny because I did what you did, and it was just like I wrote down the quote and I didn't write anything else.
Yeah, I didn't wrote who said it.
Yeah, but I kind of like that idea of like what we perceive can't be expressed. It's unspeakable, but we communicate with each other and we feel connected. I don't know. That idea sounds really interesting to me. I feel like I also you mentioned it before, this movie made me feel really dumb. And so I feel like I don't have the vocabulary to express everything that I'm feeling about it, but I thought that idea was cool. For this.
This one was interesting because she gives a good example about like how she says like water. It's like, okay, everyone knows what water is. But if you say like a word like love means something different to everybody. So I think that's why like that's the unspeakable. Like love is a symbol for something, but it's something different to everybody else. So I think that's like the unspeakable part of the word. Whereas something like water is like for most people, if you point out water and you go water, everyone understands what that is. But for love, it's something different. So like some words are unspeakable while other words are like more direct.
Yeah. Professor
makes sense.
Professor Dale.
Which I thought that was pretty interesting. And then I like the next guy who's talking about the organism and how he's talking about the evolution of man. But I think it's interesting because it made me think about today where you see that society is trying to evolve to become more, I guess, liberal, more progressive, to use like political terms. People are being like more conscious of everybody else. But then you see other people are trying to de-evolve and go back to a more quote unquote conservative time period. You know, he's the way he talks about the old evolution is sterile it's war and it's dominance, and I feel like the conservative mindset is very toe the line, where the new evolution of justice and freedom is more not being afraid to make everyone else uncomfortable in order to progress society forward as a whole. So I thought I really liked that conversation because I think it's a good reflection of what we're dealing with today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I was 11 when this movie came out, I'm sure we were dealing with back in 2001 too. But now that I'm an adult and it's in my face, I connected it to right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's just one of those themes that like you could have said this 20, 30, 40 years ago and it would still be relevant.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the philosophies they're talking about have been written by people a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
We still talk about it today. So then he goes to the house, and this is where we get the first like kind of inception-y thing about that he's in a dream, because every time he looks at the alarm clock, like the numbers aren't matching up.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like really fucked up. But the clock's tripping. So it's like floating in the sky, which is another dead giveaway that you're dreaming because you're flying.
Enter the void.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering, like when this happened, like, is this Enter the Void?
Yeah.
Because that movie came out, what, in 04? 05?
Not sure. It was
remember.
one of the first like movies that dropped with it was 09. Damn.
Oh,
It dropped with
I remember
Netflix.
the Netflix streaming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. This chapter in the movie is called Alienation.
Mhm.
But I remember I wrote it down because this dude's talking about how he feels alienated, and like he's talking about being like a self-destructive man, someone who's an outsider within a community, someone who wants chaos. And he believes that what the world's chaos, and it's the media's job to get us to accept that it's chaos
And live with it.
and live with it. Yeah, the media it's their job to get us to accept the evils of the world. Not to like not to inspire us to change it, but just to accept that they exist and this is the way that things are. And then he sets himself on fire.
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking crazy. It reminded me of
Dude.
those monks during Vietnam.
Or that dude that set himself on fire, like what was it, like a
Recently,
couple months
right?
ago?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he says something interesting that I wrote down after he set himself on fire. Where he says, let's let my own lack of voice be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh shit, that was a fucking trip.
I feel like that's always not always. I think it's hard to kind of understand sometimes why these people do it, because I wouldn't do it, but I would think that the reason why you self-immolate is because you feel like self-immolating is a stronger, louder, call out rather than just saying words. It's like an action, and people pay more attention to it rather than just the dude standing on a soapbox yelling shit.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's part of like you hear it all the time. Like you could say whatever you want, but if your actions don't show me that you mean a certain thing, then why the fuck am I going to believe your words?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
actions speak louder than words.
Exactly. I feel like that's what that guy was talking about a little bit. Or at least
Yeah.
that's why he set himself on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then it showed that like no one was helping. Everyone was just kind of standing by, just kind of looking.
Yeah,
Not
nobody
really
tried
reacting.
to stop him.
Yeah.
Not even his friend. He was just like he just
Yeah.
sits down. Like he goes with them to the gas station. He fills up the gas can with gas, walks with them. They're having this whole conversation, sees them sit down, pour it, and just fucking spark it. And I like how like there's no voice of pain. It's just like silence.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was interesting. I'm pretty sure there's a reason why he did that.
Well, it was with the last thing that he said. Let my
That's
own
right.
lack of voice be heard. It was just silence after that. It was just him. The action was speaking so much louder than, him.
Yeah, that I like. That was one of my one of my more favorite segments of that movie. I thought the conversation between those two was really good.
And it was so short too. It was one
It
of the
was
shorter
really
ones.
short.
Yeah.
And maybe because of the way it ended is why it had such an impact, because he just kills himself at the end, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh damn. Because we'll later on go to the scene where it's like those four guys that are just like mad living philosophy,
Mhm.
and they're just talking about how they're men of words and not men of action.
Yeah.
And I think that it was that scene where I was like, this is a pompous ass fucking movie. Like, but then we get our cameo in this movie where this is one of the few scenes that doesn't involve the main character at all.
Well,
Yeah.
what did you name this one?
Pillow Talk with Ethan Hawke.
Pillow talk with Ethan Hawke.
This conversation was like, I don't know, the easiest to kind of
Digest.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because Ethan Hawke sounds like a regular ass dude.
I love Ethan Hawke. I like
He's a good actor.
almost everything that he's in.
I don't think it was. I think it's just the way he presents the idea. It's a lot more. It's easily digestible because he's not using big words, you know, like
Yeah,
like
no,
like,
it feels like a
Conversation.
actual conversation that can be had with anyone.
like
Mhm.
pillow
And
talk.
it's not like some professor or some philosophical mind. It's just like two people who are just waking up or just had sex or who knows. They're just
Two
in
people
bed.
who it's like, because it sounds like they're picking up on another conversation that they had, and they're both like, I read something interesting that I think applies to, remember when we were talking about this.
Mm.
It's like, yeah, so I read this, and I don't know, I feel like it adds like in their conversation, reading it, like, oh, it adds another layer to a conversation I already had. I thought this was pretty cool. This is the part of the movie that made me start to think that he was dead, though,
Same.
because they're talking about was it like reincarnation and your life flashing before your eyes. And I thought their idea that reincarnation is just the idea of collective memory, that reincarnation isn't you being born again.
Yeah.
It's just your ideas being put forth into humanity as a whole, and that's how you continue to live. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, because they mentioned that it or Ethan Hawke mentions that it's you have 6 to 12 minutes of brain activity after you
Mhm.
die, and they're going on to talk about kind of like Inception stuff where you can see the clock at 10:12 and then fall back asleep and have like a hour-long dream or day-long dream, and you wake up and it's 10:13. It's like time moves slower in this dream world. And if your brain has 6 to 12 minutes of activity after you die, like those 6 to 12 minutes can seem like a whole lifetime.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
with as the processing power of your brain. It's like a little computer.
I always thought, well, not always, but recently, that like people's idea of like heaven and stuff and like an afterlife isn't actually an afterlife. It's just their brain like thinking that they're in an afterlife after they died.
Mm.
Because imagine if you believe something for so long and you believe in it so hard, and it's like, I'm gonna go to heaven, I do all this stuff, and then when it comes time for you to actually die, like your brain has to go to a place where you're like, oh, like acceptance almost, like I'm finally, this is it, I'm going to heaven. And so I wouldn't put it past our brains to be able to like formulate this, I don't know, makeshift reality that fuck, I'm in heaven.
And you're also high as fuck on DMT when you're dying.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like
I like-
the heavenly gates are just like trippy fucking patterns that you're going through or that you're seeing.
I like that idea because then it what you're saying kind of ties into the second part of their conversation when they start talking about like reincarnation, or Dale said that reincarnation like doesn't exist. It's when Ethan
Collective
Hawke
memory.
Mhm.
says that he read an article from a biochemist, and it says that when a member of our species is born, it has 1 billion years of memory to draw on. And I like that idea of like a collective conscious or unconsciousness with like society. And I think we've all ingrained in ourselves, probably not now, and I think there's different levels to it too, and it's like a whole spectrum of people, but I think everyone has this idea of like the afterlife as being like some really specific place. And so unconsciously, it's kind of like buried in our brains. And so when we die, whether or not regardless of whether or not we've like actually practiced these like specific ideas, our brain is kind of immediately defaulting to this thought of like, oh, okay, I'm dying. What do I do now? And it's because it's been so ingrained in our brains over the last years. Generally, people tend to say that they'll either see like a really bright light or they just see kind of darkness, right? I feel like it's like those two, potentially maybe like a spectrum of other stuff, but I feel like from what I've read and heard from people who have had those near death experiences, like one of those main 2 points. And so I like that idea of us sharing like a collective unconsciousness with each other. And it's not really that you're like reborn, it's just we're all connected in some type of way or another, that we all share this same idea of what is life and what is death. And I think that's really cool.
So this chapter is called Death and Reality, and I feel like this makes the next segment make a lot more sense, because Ethan Hawke and Julie Depley are like talking about these like bigger, deeper ideas of reincarnation and death and reality. Where the guy with the red face in jail, he's just some angry dude talking about he's gonna fucking torture and kill all these people when he gets out, that they're gonna fucking rue the day they met him, and he's gonna fucking murder anybody. And like he's talking about all this death, and his reality is like, you're locked up in jail, dude. You're not doing shit to nobody. Like, I feel like it's an interesting where they're talking about like these really crazy broad ideas, and he's talking about these very specific ideas, but he's in a very confined space, both mentally and physically, where they're not, and they're more going outward.
Yeah. Yeah, because all of those like he's not able to process any of those other thoughts because he can only see what's in front of him in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at first when we saw this, I was just like why? What is this guy's whole deal? Like, why did they link these two these two scenes together?
Yeah,
like it's very like they both deal with death, but I thought like it's very different. Like this is like the only non-philosophical segment, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, even Alex Jones gets a little philosophical. This is just some dude who is just so full of rage, and he's just fantasizing about like death and torture.
Fuck Alex Jones.
Yeah, that dude sucks. All right, I only have 2 pieces of notes on this next. Well, not. I guess I have more. This next segment's called like free will and physics, but the physics portion of this movie really made me reconceptualize an idea that I've had for a really long time. Not an idea that I've had, but just a belief. Because this guy's talking about like quantum physics and how quantum physics changes the way that we understand the physical world. And he's talking and he's comparing it with how like Aristotle, St. Augustine, and like Thomas Aquinas dealt with the idea of free will. And like, how can anyone have free will if everything's predetermined by God, or in Aristotle's case, the gods, right?
Yeah.
And then even if you believe in science, the metaphysical world has its own predetermined rules for how everything works. So do you really have free will if even in the scientific space, the physical world has its own fundamental laws that we need to follow that determine your actions to a certain extent? Is there even something as like free will in the scientific perspective? And I've never heard anybody put science that way, and it made me pause and be like, is that true? Like I'm a history guy, so I don't, my STEM knowledge is definitely lacking. But I was like, shit, I guess if you put it from it that way, even from a scientific perspective, you don't really have free will. So is there such thing as free will? I only wrote 2 pieces of fucking sentences on this, but I paused the movie and like thought about it for a little while because it kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, really makes you think. Because
I'm a big science guy.
Yeah, I was talking about all these subatomic particle laws that all these laws need to be followed. So if all of those subatomical laws need to be followed, like it was talking about like the brain and the synapses and like bunch of little things need to happen for you to actually reach out and grab something. And are you actually reaching? Is that you making the motion to reach out, or is it
Like,
your brain?
is it like the
Or is it
is
like
it the physics of the universe determine that's how you do that? So
crazy?
crazy. It's so crazy.
I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, never. I mean,
It, I love that.
smooth brain.
I love that idea. And I think he does when he talks about quantum physics, because quantum physics are way more like chaotic than your normal like systems. And so he says that I think he well let me read. I can have it up. I'm trying to pull from memory. Their behavior is absurd in the sense that it's unpredictable and we can't understand it based on anything that came before. It just does something out of the blue according to a probabilistic framework. But is that going to help with freedom? I mean, should our freedom be just a matter of probabilities with some random swerving in a chaotic system? That starts to seem like it's worse. I'd rather be a gear in a big deterministic physical machine rather than random swerving. And I just this whole lecture portion was really cool because just it made all of us. I had the same exact feeling like you guys. Like, damn, are the decisions I'm making even like my decisions? I I would like to think so. I would hope so. Um, but yeah, that's one of those things of you think about it really hard, you can get like pulled in. I don't know at this point don't want to get pulled into this, because it's such a deep, big question, right? Like everything, everything that we do has some type of like rules, procedures that are set up to it. So I guess what are there, do you guys think that there are things that we do that could potentially break one of those processes? And would we be okay if we break them? I guess kind of going back,
Mm.
maybe like love, like,
So I think this because I'm connecting this conversation to the guy who set himself on fire and he's talking about how some people just want chaos.
yeah,
And this guy doesn't want chaos.
yeah, he doesn't.
So I think that when it comes to like the physical sense, maybe free will doesn't exist in the same way that the functions of the universe work. And well, unless you're talking about quantum mechanics, which proves that that's actually not true. But like maybe the idea of like our soul or our individuality, like what makes us through our collective memory is what gives us our free will because we determine what we want to do. Like a car can't move without somebody driving it. That doesn't take away from the fact that it's a car.
Hmm.
So without the existential part of ourselves, the internal part doesn't work. Because then you're just a vegetable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's that?
But I guess but the idea or the drive that makes us do those specific things is part of a process.
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
so like I was thinking like the car, like the process of why the car works has been created and works because of a certain checklist of things that makes a car work.
Yeah.
But the driver determines how it works and where it goes. We can make it work within the confines of its own physical attributes and abilities. And we can push it to the limit to a certain extent. But at the same time, we're the driving force of where it wants to go. A car doesn't want to
Yeah.
smash into a tree. We'll make it smash into a tree.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that. And I think too, speaking on like the whole chaos thing, it becomes like opinion that's a little subjective because he doesn't want chaos. He wants things like in order, so it would make sense that some of his theories or thoughts are kind of correlated to keeping things in line, and that we really don't have as much free will as we think because that's his opinion. He has a quote. He says that he'd rather be a gear in a big deterministic physical machine than some random swerving. So that tells me that he's very cookie cutter. This guy likes things to kind of follow like some sort of order. So I mean, you can take that how you want, but this guy definitely doesn't thrive in chaos.
That's true too. Interesting philosophy nonetheless.
Yeah.
It's so weird that he linked this idea with Alex Jones, because for the Alex Jones segment, I titled it "Death and Taxes."
Fuck Alex Jones. I do. I think
I'm not gonna lie though. His whole yelling conversation about the corporate slave state and how we're being conditioned on a massive scale to be okay with like over abusing ourselves and getting less in return. Even though he's a piece of shit, I don't think that's necessarily wrong.
Yeah, I actually agree with what he was saying in this segment. Like, I'm pretty sure pre-Obama, Alex Jones might have been like a lot more
before he got rich.
Yeah,
before he realized I can make a lot of money by becoming a fucking belligerent asshole.
By doing the thing that he's arguing against here. Like,
exactly.
All he does now is condition people, and like it's ironic that like he was talking about how conditioning is bad. But now that's all he's like, that's what he's doing now. So it's like, God damn it, you piece of shit.
Either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain.
Basically.
Yeah, because everything he was saying in this segment, I mean, he's talking about, Democrats and Republicans and how there's two sides of the same coin. And now he's very one-sided in his arguments.
Yeah, because he started to make money.
Well, because he realized if I cater to one side, I'd become a millionaire.
And
sure, I mean, it's like not too many people will hold strong to their moral values when a bunch of fucking money is thrown in your face. And who knows? I mean, I'm sure he started with just being an angry dude that had thoughts and didn't like where he was in his life. And then he got rich and he realized I can continue to become rich by drinking my own Kool-Aid and becoming a piece of shit. Yeah. But maybe that's giving him too much credit. Maybe just because he made one good point doesn't necessarily mean at one point he was like not a piece of shit.
Right. Yeah, true.
Yeah, I would like to say that. Just because he made one good point doesn't mean he didn't start off as a piece of shit. I think he was born as a piece of shit. Like he's been like that. So fuck that guy.
Yeah, no, he sucks.
You're gonna make money off of saying that children.
Well, he's broke now.
Through fucking shootings were lying
he's
about
fucking
it.
Crying about it too.
Yeah, because he's a fucking piece of shit.
That's what he gets. Welcome. We could move on. We don't have to talk about this guy.
All right, but I did like that one point that
frogs
he
are gay.
I think that was pretty interesting, and it's only gotten worse since 2001. So then after piece of shit, Alex Jones, I feel like we start getting like rapid fire like philosophers. So he's talking to the old man Otto Hoffman, and I wrote down a quote which I thought was interesting. He says it's about like being liberated from the negative. He says, which is really our own will to nothingness. It's like once you said yes to an instant, the affirmation is contagious. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? To say yes to one instance is to say yes to all existence. I mean, I guess that makes sense of like being born or something, but like I don't know what that means in like the grander scheme of life.
All right, I'm reading it right now. The quest is to be liberated from the negative, which is really our own will to nothingness. And so the negative is our own will to doing nothing. And we're on a quest to make sure that we can do other stuff. So once you say yes to the instant, the affirmation is contagious. Burst into a chain of affirmations that knows no limits. To say yes to one instant is to say yes to all of existence. I think it's like the reverse of like the angry man and like I feel like once you get into these, I mean for me personally, when I get into a hole of like negative and like not doing anything, like I get into a hole and I'll just get like sucked in and like 4 days pass and I don't shower and I come out looking like a fucking like gremlin, like what's up guys? And so but once I say yes to something and once I agree, like, yeah, I'm down, I start to just kind of do more shit and like I just kind of like open up and like things kind of get a little bit better for me. So maybe it's talking about that of like this guy's it's the opposite of piece of shit is like we need to try to be more positive to like more open to positive changes. I think that's what I'm getting from this.
I could see that. One thing that helps me get out of those holes, and I wonder if this is the same to say yes to one instant, is I forgot who said it. It was like some fucking celebrity, I'm pretty sure. And he was talking about to like his buddy who was having a bad day. And he's like, his buddy was like in a bad way. He's like, well, did you make your bed today? And he's like, what? Like, why are you asking me that question? Like, I have all these fucking problems going on. He's like, yeah, but did you make your bed today? He's like, no. He's like, well, every morning just wake up and make your bed. Because at the end of the day, when you're looking back on all your bullshit, at least you can say that you did something that day. At least you made your bed.
Yeah.
I was like, I guess that's true. Like, it's like a small accomplishment, but it's something that you did that doesn't actually take up that much time to do.
Yeah.
Ever since I've heard that, unless I'm like belligerently fucking hungover, I've never not made my bed.
Just trying to do the small stuff
Mm-hmm.
because eventually those small stuff are going to build up into like big things later on and you'll recognize them as like a positive overall.
Yep, the small things matter.
Yep.
And then we get shot to the two women are having a conversation, they're having lunch. So I
Yep.
guess they're English professor Lisa Moore and author Carol Dawson. And she said something that I thought was super fucking interesting. And it really resonated with me. She says, I'm closer to death than I've ever been, but I have more time than ever. And I thought that was interesting because sometimes I feel like I don't have enough time. Like when you stepped away for a second, me and Twan were just talking about how lately it feels like we've been doing the day just keeps going by and it feels like that we do nothing. And it's just like I woke up, it was 5:00 and now we're recording and it's 1. It's like, what the fuck happened in those past 6 hours? Like, I didn't do anything. But at the same time, it's like, but then I'm closer to death, but I have the time to do, I guess, more things that I want to do than when I was younger. Because when you're a kid, you're put in a routine and you're told what to do. And now that you're an adult, you choose what you want to do. And I feel like in that sense, it's liberating. And it does kind of feel like you have more time than ever to do whatever you want. But going on our previous conversation, it's really easy to box ourselves in and to limit the things that we can do. Even though we're in a place in our lives, all of us, where we should have the ability to a certain extent to do whatever we want to do, if not economically, at least creatively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why we're doing the pod.
True. Very true.
When she said that, it reminded me of this thing that my mom would tell me when I was maybe like a teenager of like, I would always tell her like, damn, I want to grow up. Like, I can't wait to be an adult. And she would always tell me that you're only a kid for a short amount of time. And the rest of that time, you're an adult. And like, once you become an adult, you never stop being an adult. Like, there's no stage after adult. It's just death. And so when she said that of like, exactly what you were saying as well. I think just different because I'm maybe because my point of reference was being like a child, so I was just thinking of it like comparing like my child life to adult life, where I do I'm just an adult now, and I'm just kind of like floating through, and there's so much time to fill, but I know that eventually there's like an end, but technically the end is still kind of the same as where I'm at now. You know what I mean? Like I'm still going to be an adult when I die. Cause I didn't die as a kid, luckily. But you know, I don't know. I got lost in what I was saying, but yeah, yeah. I was just trying to tie it back to like what it made me think of.
I think I feel that, and I feel like a lot of adults kind of have that point of view when you're a kid, because every kid wants to grow up. When they're like, when you grow up, you have to deal with like taxes and having a job and all this bullshit.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't think that's true. Where you're just an adult for the rest of your life. I feel like I've had different stages of adulthood up until this point that are drastically different from each other. Some are better than others, but I feel like my life has just been evolving constantly. I haven't had a sense of, I feel like every 2 years it's something different.
Yeah. And this movie does a really good job of introducing or talking about some really cool ideas, even though they're kind of advanced. And I think talking about it now probably helps me even more than watching the movie twice, because we're able to like dissect a lot of what they were saying, make it a little bit more manageable and digestible for me. Because some of these concepts are just really advanced for me, and I'm not used to talking about this stuff. It's like when you first get in the college and you're in like a fucking critical thinking class, and like the class is talking about like the reasoning or motivation behind a character, and you're just like, dude, I just read this book about this fucking like pig who befriended a spider, and the spider created a spider web, and like you're talking about the spider's like reasoning, like what is going on. That's how I felt watching this movie twice, but talking about it definitely helps. I think
Yeah, definitely.
if I recommend this movie, I would recommend it to a group of people, so then you can talk about it after. Because watching it solo is kind
Yeah,
of
watch
rough.
it with somebody.
Yeah,
Watch it with somebody you know is willing to watch it though.
yeah,
Yeah, don't watch it with
and
someone that's just gonna be like, this movie fucking sucks the whole time.
yeah,
Like then it's just like you're both wasting your time at that point.
yeah. Be prepared to have like a full conversation after, or just pause and talk about it.
And then we get to my favorite segment, fucking Professor Chimp. I don't know why I really like the Professor Chimpanzee.
It's just
So surreal.
leading a fucking informative open mic.
Is that what it was? I thought
I
he
don't
was
know.
showing
That's what it
them.
felt. That's what it felt like to me.
I think he
Because
was
he-
lecturing in a classroom.
Oh, was
Well,
he?
also showing a video, like it had like some of the imagery I recognize, like Kurt Cobain like swinging the guitar around. I was like, hey, that's fucking Nirvana. And I forget who else was that I saw that popped into there, but I think it's like one of the probably the only time in the movie where there's imagery flashing while they're also saying they're like philosophical shit.
Yeah.
And then the chimp eats his notes at the end, which I thought was fucking wild.
Lecture's over, bro. You don't need him anymore.
Just doing chimp shit.
I thought this whole scene I thought was like sound like something that would be like in a music video or something.
Yeah. I didn't see the live footage of this scene though. I don't know if they actually filmed a chimp.
They got a real chimp to talk. And
Now they got a chimp. They put him in a like a fucking professor outfit.
yeah,
Like
and
it's
they,
a button up and a tie.
and they taught him some philosophy so he could lecture a class.
Yeah, I don't have much on the chimp, just that I liked his swagger. I thought the chimp was cool. Oh, I think this movie was filmed in Austin, Texas, because a lot of the professors are from the University of Texas.
Makes sense. I mean, there was a flag on the boat car. It was a Texas flag.
That's
And
right.
then Alex Jones is Texas native.
And then we get to this this next guy where they're sitting at a bar, and I only wrote one sentence, but I thought it was a good summation of the whole conversation. He says there's two kinds of sufferers in this world: those who suffer from a lack of life and those who suffer from an overabundance of life.
Hmm.
I think that's so true.
Yeah.
We're all suffering
Just
just
at different
differently.
levels.
Different levels of suffer.
I took it as like one of those like you got to do everything in moderation, but too much moderation is not good.
Mm,
Like if you drink too much water, you'll drown. If you don't drink enough water, you'll be dehydrated. Just gotta drink the right amount.
but in that's moderation. So just moderation, but not
So
But you said
What's-
too much
what's-
moderation is bad.
What's too little? What's your well, I know overabundance is too much of something. What is it when you have? I guess okay, lack of water. I
Just
guess is
lack.
dehydration.
Yeah, just lack of. Yeah. So moderation's like the key, finding the balance between both of them. All about the balance.
All about the balance. Is it this guy or is it the next guy who's talking about which is our most universal characteristic? Is it fear or laziness? He's talking about like humanity.
I think it's that guy because the next dude is the man talking to the bartender with the gun.
Oh, that was a crazy ass fucking scene.
Yeah.
So I guess that guy, the bartender guy, we'll go to that one. I think that's more interesting.
Mhm.
The Stephen Prince, he told it originally on like a Scorsese film or something like that. So he's just like retelling the story.
Hmm.
And this movie where he's talking about like that tweaker ass dude or like tried to steal a bunch of tires and he was working at a gas station. And he
Yeah.
just like murders the guy. And he's like, yeah, I always carry this fucking gun around. And the guy's like, you should pull the trigger to see if it works. And then he just shoots the bartender. Then the bartender like grabs his gun and then shoots Stephen Prince in the dome, and then they both die.
Yeah.
What was the point of this scene?
I don't know. I thought it was funny though, because like when he pulls out the gun, the bartender says, well, a well-armed populace is the best defense against tyranny. And it's just so ironic that like they just murder each other. Cause like,
Yeah.
cause like, I mean, you could like pull up all these stats, right? And all the stats would basically say like if you have a gun, you're way more likely to shoot somebody. Yes. And like you commit violent crimes, like yes. And we just see that in this, like they're not really
Mhm.
defending against tyranny. They're fucking just shooting each other.
They're just shooting each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
I like this scene. Like this scene felt like it would be like in a Quentin Tarantino or like a Scorsese movie.
hmm
Like it felt like just some random dudes having a conversation and some dude telling a story. But I don't know. I just didn't really understand its point. I guess the stupidity of defending against tyranny is just us killing each other. Are we the tyrants?
Are we the baddies?
Yeah, this is a weird one. And then this is where our guy wakes up again, but he doesn't really wake up. We don't see the alarm clock in this one, but he just goes to the couch and he just starts like flipping through channels, right?
Yeah.
He's channel surfing. Is this where he tries to call his buddy again?
Yeah. He's is he like trying to call the same friend throughout the whole movie?
I think so, but I don't think it's ever determined who he's trying to call
Yeah.
because he leaves him 2 messages because he left him one in the morning. His friend never gets back to him. But I don't know. It's never explained. Maybe he's trying to call himself.
That's him trying to determine if it's a dream or not.
Maybe it's him trying to wake up without knowing he's trying to wake up.
Yeah. Who is he trying to? Well, why? I forgot who he was trying to call to begin with. He was trying to call his friend, right? But like, why?
Ah,
It's just maybe he's trying to have a conversation with his friend, but his brain doesn't let him. And instead, his brain is having these conversations with all these philosophers, and in his brain, he just wants to talk with his homie, but he keeps getting met with all these philosophical fucking people.
Yeah.
yeah, because later on in the movie, he talks about like how he's just bouncing from place to place and like talking to random people, but even he doesn't even really know why he's doing it.
Yeah.
It's just like happening. And I think this is where we get the next scene, right? Where he talks to the guy and they have the whole conversation about like lucid dreaming.
Yeah. It's like it's 3 people in a room and he has a conversation with each of them.
And then by
That's
the
right.
third one, that's when he starts interacting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the third conversation is the guy with the leather jacket. The second one is like the guy with the
ukulele guy.
ukulele. It's
Yeah.
just like he just walked and sat down, and this guy just started dropping knowledge on him.
Yeah, he tells him like a friend once said, "Worst mistake you could think is you're alive. Best you could do is combine your awake state with unlimited dream state." I feel like that's what Walt Disney did. Maybe this is, I don't know. This is gonna be sound mean. I feel like it was this scene in the movie, although it kind of I thought was where it started to click.
Mhm.
This scene I feel tries the hardest to be philosophical without not actually being all that philosophical. I feel like this scene tries too hard. But it was cool after he talks to like his buddy who's talking about like lubricating your dreams and shit, and he considers himself like a dream walker or whatever. And he tells him like, well, no, you're awake, flip the fucking light switch, and then we find out that he's been dreaming this whole time.
Yeah.
That was cool. Because
Yeah,
this scene was the most set up to be like reality.
Yeah.
Was
Kind
it? I
of.
mean,
Kind of. I
To
guess
me-
not really. Because he sees his buddy and he's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
yeah.
And that's kind of a telltale sign you're in a dream when you see a friend where you know a friend's not supposed to be.
Yeah, there was I think it was this conversation where they mention waking life. Is it this one?
No, that's early on. That's that's Pillow Talk with Ethan Hawke.
Nah, cause
She says the term waking life. That's the first time you hear it.
maybe it was the second time, because someone says you sell your waking life for minimum wage, but now they get your dreams for free.
That was
Because,
Alex
like-
Jones,
What?
wasn't
Nah.
it?
No, it was this one.
Was it this guy? Was it
We
the
have-
guy with leather jacket?
We have the transcription records.
At least in my notes, like this was
Let's see.
around this time, because the first guy in this room, I put that he looked like Weird Al Yankovic with Steve Buscemi eyes. That
Yeah, he
was the
does kind
first
of
guy.
look. He does kind of look like her. That guy says something. He says our neuron. He's like dreaming and reality. Our neurons see no difference. That kind of reminded me of the mechanical quantum mechanics guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, if you don't know you're in a dream, it's hard to differentiate that you are actually in a dream when you're in it.
It's a ukulele guy who says you sell your waking life for minimum wage, but they get your dreams for free.
Mm.
That was pretty.
Oh
poignant.
yeah, because he's talking about, have you ever worked a job so hard that you end up dreaming about it, and it's like, don't let them invade your dreams as well, because that's your waking life.
That happened to me. That used to happen to me for university all the time.
That used to happen to me. Fucking burgers never say die.
That used to happen to me when I was working on a food truck. I used to dream about being on the line on the flat top and just having like rows of never ending tickets and like just sweating out, making sliders, sending them out, and I would like finally get back home and I would lay down and I would wake up and it would be 6 o'clock and I would be like back at work again.
It's the worst.
What'd you think of his buddy talking about how like he's like master and commander of his dreams, the leather jacket guy?
Fucking cool guy.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Also, his pin keeps on changing as he was talking.
Yeah.
His what?
The pin, he had the smiley face pin in the beginning, and then it changes to like a clown, and then it changes to like
Damn, I didn't notice that.
like a meditating person, and then
I guess that's a dead giveaway there. He was sleeping.
yeah. I've thought that was really cool, and I used to have nightmares when I was a kid, like a lot, and I still do get pretty bad nightmares. But when I was a kid specifically, I remember thinking like it would be so cool if I could like control these dreams because I hated having nightmares all the time. And I still do think that would be really cool to like control dreams, but I was only able ever to do it like once, and it just never really happened again. I never get to that point. I'm always like, my brain is immediately kind of goes into like fight or flight mode in my dreams. It's hard for me to like reconcile or realize that I'm in a dream.
Yeah. Well, I feel like as I've grown up, dreams have become less fantastical.
Hmm.
Like as you get
For
older,
sure.
the little imaginative part of you starts to get numbed out a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, a lot of my dreams these days are like real life scenarios, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's why it's so hard to differentiate between a dream and reality while in a dream, because it's just like a normal fucking day, just like with one like random change to make it a dream, but like while I'm in that state, it feels
Don't
like
let
it's
them
real
get your
life.
dreams for free, man. But I think it was this point in the movie where like the movie's theme started to click. I know
Yeah,
listeners, you've been hearing us talk about it. And he's like, what are they talking about? They got it the whole time. But it was here where it really started to. I was like, oh, okay. Now I kind of understand what the movie's about. Kind of.
kind of.
Like
It's
I don't
like a whole
entirely.
dream state
Yeah,
sequence.
it's like if fucking Leo took a hit of acid before he went to incept somebody, or he's accepting somebody on acid.
Ooh.
Damn,
Ooh.
that'd be wild. That'd be fucking wild. And then we get to the next scene. This one really creeped me out with the two guys talking about cinema. You guys remember this one? And the guy's talking about how like the thing about cinema is that it's like a reproduction of reality. Like unlike a book uses your imagination, but
Mhm.
cinema captures like what reality is supposed to be. It captures like a moment. It's more like movies are more about the actors inside them because the actors are the one that portray the character. That's why you could have like a good script that's a bad movie because you have bad actors and vice versa. And then
Hmm.
they have like that like staring contest thing. They just like live in the
Oh
moment,
yeah.
and it's like being in the moment is what God is. And the guy's like, I'm gonna start crying. Like I'm a crier. And like the guy, the interviewers not fully letting himself live in the moment, and he's like asking questions while being in it, and the guy's just like staring at him the whole time. I don't know. I don't know why this scene just really weirded me out. What'd you guys think of this scene? Did you have the same reaction, or just like whatever's
I,
about it?
I yeah, you definitely had a more intense reaction than I did to this
Yeah.
scene. This I think the animation of this scene is what was most memorable to me, because the guy's hair was like flowing and things were like kind of moving as he was talking, going on with his story. But um, yeah, I didn't really have any effect.
Yeah, to me, this scene felt like it reminded me of an acid trip when things start breathing. And that was what I focused on both times when I saw it, more than like what he was talking about. But like I kind of got like kind of the general idea of like the holy moment and like just yeah, it didn't hit me as hard as it hit you though.
I'm looking up this dude
Got some
a
interesting
bit.
films.
Yeah, it's very
Very avant garde.
yeah,
There's a movie called I Don't Hate Las Vegas Anymore.
a lot of shorts.
I think he's like an indie guy.
Hmm.
He's giving me indie vibes.
Yeah, they're all shorts. Well, not all of them, but most of them. Most of them are shorts. Yeah, looks like he could teach a class at like LA Film School.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see him being he's a director's director. Like all the
Yeah.
directors like him, but he's not really like a mainstream success kind of guy. And then we come across my least favorite scene with the four dudes that are just like mad.
Pompous.
Yeah, it's just mad living philosophy. It reminded me like I don't know why. Have you guys seen East was it East Side Story? West Side Story?
Never seen it.
Where they or like Grease when they're like singing and they're like dancing and like snapping their fingers and like singing at the same time. Kind of reminded me with that, but just like with philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like these are like the cool guys of philosophy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
The fucking
exactly.
cool kids.
The type of people who like hate how like mainstream society is just not at their level.
Hmm.
I don't know. I hated this scene so much.
Because they're all theory, no action, bro. That's
All
why.
theory, no action. I mean, I was happy that they said the quiet thing out loud.
Uh,
Because I was like, fuck these guys. These guys look like they don't fucking get their hands dirty. These guys don't know what it's like to fucking live these conditions that they're talking about. And then they said at the end that they're all because the old man is what? He's all action, no theory.
Yeah, because he's
Yeah.
stuck,
he's just on the telephone pole.
stuck on the pole.
Mm.
But is he stuck? Because he doesn't want to get down.
He's not
Yeah,
stuck, and he's not.
He doesn't know what he's doing up there.
You just
Yeah, he's just up there.
you're just there.
Just wanted to climb the pole, I guess. I respect that.
He was hiding from the Tremors, the Graboids.
Damn. It's a
Callback.
fucking crossover.
Sheesh.
It's actually Kevin Bacon in a wig.
Oh, it's that guy. What's his name? The guy that gets stuck up on the fucking telephone or the
Fuck, what's his name?
Like-
Lester.
Lester.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this scene. I just don't like. I just don't like these guys.
Yeah, this is
I forgot. I wrote this down. I don't remember who said it, but I thought this was a cool like quote where it's like they say Stevenson said that suicide carried off many, drink and the devil took care of the rest. I was like, that's cool.
I think those are the people that you didn't like.
I thought it was a cool quote. I'm like, that guy had an alcoholic father, Stevenson. And then we jump to the guy and the hobo guy on the train. He's like, "Hey man, you're a dreamer. Fucking dream, bro."
It's just I don't know, one of those random people that he encountered in his dreams, just talking about dreaming. And it's so crazy because the whole time, I mean, and I don't know when it comes up. It might come up in the next few conversations, but when they're talking about, fuck, what was I going to go with that? Sorry, I had a brain fart. I don't know where I was going. It'll come back up.
The fucking train guy I thought was like pretty, like was kind of on the nose. He's like, "Do you dream?" Yeah. He's like, "Nobody dreams anymore. Like us dreamers, we got to stick together. To dream or not to dream, I choose to dream, man." It's like, okay, cool. But then I really like the next segment. I don't remember anything that they wrote down. It just says like 1,000 years over in an instant. But I thought the animation of this segment was really cool. Because the world just like shifts really fucking crazy as the guy is walking with I think it's another dude.
On the bridge?
No, the alien.
Yeah, the alien looking guy.
Yeah, the guy who turned into an alien. That one was wild. I was so much more focused on like the visuals that were going on during that one.
Yeah.
That it was hard for me to like understand what he was saying, and I'm trying to read it now. And it's a whole thing.
1,000 years is but an instant was the only thing I remember him saying because I was so captivated by what was happening.
Yeah. The visuals are really cool in this one.
I have to look it up because I don't know. You guys are saying that it was so captivating. Oh, I can't picture it.
It's where it's like he's talking to somebody and the person is walking in like a circle. And as he's walking in a circle, his body is like changing. And he eventually changes into like this like alien being, and then he just flies off. Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
I don't remember that one. Damn. I don't even have any notes to like
that's
back
the only,
this up for me.
That's the only thing I remember. I just put weird voice guy rhyming. 1,000 years happened in an instant. And then like I was like watching it, I was like, this is a weird. This I was like, this movie's just getting weirder and weirder.
Yeah.
And then this is where he bumps into the chick you were talking about earlier, Saya, where she says she doesn't want to be an ant. And then he starts to like interview a dream person, which I thought was really interesting because this is where he's finally trying to like regain control of his dream state. And we learn that he, like us, the audience, have also just been like taken forth on this journey, bouncing from place to place, and he doesn't exactly know why he's doing it, which I was like, okay, that's cool. Like that is the point of the movie.
Mhm.
And then he's trying to figure it out by talking to this dream chick, and she doesn't like really help him. She just asks him like, well, why do you think this is happening?
Yeah.
Well, because and I remember what I was going to say. He's dreaming the whole time, so it's not like these are random thoughts that are just formulating out of nothing. Like it's his own brain that's having these conversations with himself. So I think she was trying to get him to realize that these are his own thoughts
Yeah.
by like constantly asking him like, well, what do you think?
This is also it's interesting too, because we were talking about the cog and the wheel guy.
Mhm.
She's another person who just doesn't want to be like a worker bee. Like she's like, I don't want to be an ant. Like she's like, I
Yeah.
want to be my own person. I want to experience the world like organically. I don't want to be on this like predetermined path that's set
Yeah.
before me.
But isn't it interesting that like it's all within his own dreams? And so
That's probably what he's struggling with.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that it's like this person, it's just him, but like a certain space within his consciousness just arguing and like fighting to like break out of what he's been stuck in this whole time. And I think it takes this conversation for the main character to really like start interacting with everyone. Like he does it kind of lightly when he's talking to the light switch dude. Like when he does it with the light switch, then he realizes like, oh, I'm in a dream. But then in after this conversation, he's now more aware that he's constantly in a dream, and like he just tries to talk to the people and interact with the people that he's in there with more than before. And he takes more of like an active role in all these conversations.
Yeah, it seems like he's
True.
trying to
Yep.
break out now.
Yeah.
Like he's not okay with being the passenger. Now he wants to be the driver.
Yeah.
It's crazy too, because he as we'll find out, he tries and fails to get control of his dream state.
Mhm.
Also, this chick also weirded me out. I don't know. Maybe somebody that was like, "Hey, let's talk. I don't want to be an ant. I just want to like organically get to meet somebody." I'd be like, "What the fuck is this chick on? Holy shit!"
Get away from me.
I'm like, "Oh, that's cool," but like, you got off the train. I'm trying to get on a train. See, I have somewhere I need to be when you're looking for where you want to go. So I'm out of here.
Just start running away, screaming with your head. Ah!
Stranger danger. Just start blowing my whistle.
Uh,
But I don't know. But then it also reminds me, I think this guy's like really young, and in my early 20s, I think I would have been more open to just like talking to like a random person that I bumped into.
yeah.
I feel like now that I'm older, I'm just like, I ain't got time for this chick. I got shit I gotta do. Like that's cool and all, but
I also
bye.
don't think it's just about age. I think it's about like where you're at
I guess that's true.
with
That's true
with
too.
everything.
And then Twan, then this is where he comes across the fro guy on the bridge.
Yeah. Bridge combo.
I think this is fucked up because the first thing I wrote was this guy's a weird ass voice.
Dude. And his, I guess, appearance. His appearance matches his voice. He looks like he would sound like that.
Okay, so he's a poet, Timothy Speed Levitch. I when I saw him, I'm like, this guy's got to be like a famous person or
Like a creative.
Yeah, he has to be. He has to be. There's no way you have that voice and that look, and you're not successful to be in this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that guy ain't getting the bill for acting gigs. And I feel like this guy kind of has a very similar take to the Pillow Talk with Ethan Hawke, where he's talking about how we're all like co-authors of the world.
Yeah, he says remembering is much more psychotic than forgetting.
That is true. I thought that was interesting. Remembering is a lot more psychotic than forgetting.
Mm-hmm.
So you think it's crazy to remember things?
Maybe dwelling,
Mm.
because it's I feel like it's so much easier to forgive and forget than it is to dwell and resonate on, what someone said or what someone did. And by doing so, we're causing ourselves to kind of deal with turmoil because we're sitting and dwelling on something rather than forgetting it. So it's more psychotic in that sense, maybe.
I could see that. And even the same and like when you remember something, the more time that goes over, right? It's become like your memory becomes less reliable. You start adding things or omitting things that
True.
just weren't there to begin with.
Yeah.
He also says that you can't love life and understand life simultaneously.
No, he said he
Or
said
you say
that
you can't live life and
he said
understand life simultaneously.
he said that um a person said that, but he doesn't agree with it.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he the one that said once you realize you're a figure in someone else's dream, that's self-awareness?
I'm trying to read
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Yeah, he does. That's his very last line. He said, an assumption develops that you cannot understand life and live life simultaneously. I do not agree entirely, which is to say that I do not exactly disagree. I would say that life understood is life lived, but the paradoxes bug me, and I can learn to love and make love to the paradoxes that bug me.
Yeah, this is
Hmm.
this is another, I think the last really deep philosophical, because I think this is the last, well, he's a poet, but I feel like poets are philosophers in their own right sometimes.
Yeah.
Philosophers of emotion.
True. And it's kind of in our face that it's taking place on a bridge. I feel like this is like a literal bridge conversation into where things are kind of starting to get different for him, because right after this is when he sees people that he's seen before, and he's starting to like really try to control the dream and trying to wake himself up. So it was like almost like a bridge from like the philosophical conversations that had been had throughout the movie, and now it's like time for him to try to wake up.
Or understand just what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Because the next conversation he has is with the boatman, but the boatman's now a convenience store teller?
Clerk.
Clerk?
Yeah.
There you go.
Clerk.
Clerk. Wasn't even this fucking wasn't even supposed to be in that day. He just kind of looked like him for a
He
little bit. I was
does.
like, is that Dante?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's a different actor. Also, he looks completely different. Not completely. He looks similar, but not exactly like the boatman. Maybe because he doesn't have the boat hat.
And he's not on a boat.
Because like for a
Yeah.
split second, I'm like, is that the same guy? It looks like he has a tan now. He doesn't have the Hawaiian boat shirt. He doesn't have the hat. He doesn't look like he fucking works at Margaritaville. But he does say something that I thought was cool. He says, examine the nature of everything. Dream you as a mental model of who you think you are. I think that's interesting. Because I didn't touch on it earlier. I guess I feel like this comes in with connects to the two chicks that were having the conversation at lunch, where they said images aren't who you are, it's your experience. And I feel like these are two kind of connective ideas.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Because the image of you and who every I feel like everybody is a different version of themselves to somebody else. Nobody sees you exactly the same.
Yeah.
And you probably don't even see yourself the same depending on what the day is.
No,
But the
I mean,
dream version of you is who you really are. I wonder if you're the same person in your dreams all the time.
I think that would be like a fully actualized person, because that person would have to have gone through all the like self-development, like
Maybe the Buddha.
get rid of their like insecurities and like all that stuff in order to be the person that they dream to be. Like that's a big That's a big thing. That's how you graduate therapy.
That's not true. It's not necessarily the person you dream to be, because if the dream version of you is like a piece of shit, that's probably you because you think you're a piece of shit. Like nobody dreams to be a piece of shit. Not all dreams are good dreams.
Yeah, that's right. I was thinking of it as like, I guess a dream when you
like
said
from
that.
an enlightenment set of you, kind of.
Yeah, when you said like, I wonder if people are who they dream to be. I thought of that as like the best, like positive reflection of myself. But yeah, I don't always dream of myself as like the best. Sometimes I'm a villain in my dreams, like the Man in Black.
When do you guys think that we actually started becoming ourselves? Or do we ever actually become ourselves? Because growing up, we're influenced by our parents, our grandparents, our friends, things around us. Like, are we ever actually us?
I think so. I think that's why I like the pillow talk with Ethan Hawke about the idea of like reincarnation being the collective consciousness. Because we all use the information, the nature versus nature nurture combination of becoming a person to become a unique result of all those equations added together. It gives you us. But I also feel personally, I would say, like we're talking about how I like growing up. I think there's always different versions of ourselves. So who we are right now is not necessarily the person we are. It's not the same person we were before, or probably will be in the future.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. I think who we are, I think we're always evolving to be us. And I think, like how he says, the guy was saying, it's like the evolution of the populace rather than the individual. As we get more experiences in our lives, we become somebody different, whether that be in a big way or in a little way. You're not always the same person.
I agree to an extent. I think that we do evolve over time. But I think there's a specific point in time that you can decide, like, I'm okay, like, with this and with who I am. And so I think that you can choose to either continue to move forward or continue to be like where you're at. But you still have to go through like a process of evolution to get to wherever you need to be. And I think sometimes, personally for me, like sometimes I get stuck in like specific points, or I was stuck in specific points. And so yeah, I think, yeah, just that you evolve through time, and then you can choose at what point in time to stay at where you're at, and maybe you'll die as that at that point in time of that person. But you definitely do, like, I don't think you're just born as like you. I think it kind of, you have to like gain all these experiences, and kind of what the poet was talking about, of like you gain experiences, or you understand as you live. And so you kind of come to like a better understanding of yourself over time. And that's what helps you determine what you're going to be.
Do you think that we would have the ability to say, this is it, this is who I want to be for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
You don't think there's any external factors that would kind of add to who you eventually end up becoming? I feel like it would be really hard for someone to like just be the same throughout the rest of their life, no matter, what stage in life that they're in.
I think that I hear what you're saying, and I feel like there's two pieces to that. I think that there's an outward expression of who you are and what you do, and an inward, like, who you are as the individual. And so I think that, like, you do have to do specific things in order to get to where you want to be. And like, maybe like that means that you have to make choices on who you want to be in a relationship with, what you want to do for like work. But I think that at I think that those choices are driven by like your core inside of like who you are. And I think that you can choose to be a specific person, and like lock that decision in, and that decision is going to kind of help you make the other choices. But I think that what I'm trying to say by that previously is that, like, you can choose to be a specific person, and that person is just going to carry through all of these other things. Yeah, you do have to evolve over time. Societies change and like cultures change over time, but I think the people can choose to stay like a specific way throughout all of these different things and still interact with the world around them, but still be the same.
I could see that. So like you set yourself up in a way where it's like I'm not gonna have this type of person in my life anymore. Like this is the type of person I want to be. This is the type of people I want to be around.
Yeah, so I don't fuck with Geminis.
Too late, but you started with one.
That's such a Libra.
Started a whole podcast with one.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Is that I don't know the signs. I just know that in the religion of
astrology,
like Geminis are the bad ones.
And the old text.
Any train of thought that tells you how you should prejudge somebody,
right,
or how you are just because of when you were born that's a religion, bro.
Because of where the moon was in relation to the exact moment that you were born, where the stars were, where the planets were, that dictates who we are as people.
In my point of view, yeah, that's not how the world works.
Yeah,
but anyways,
there goes our
an interesting
women
quote,
viewers,
because I think they say in the beginning, like you were saying, Matt, that they say that the world changes but the individual doesn't. That's when they're talking about evolution. The guy was talking about evolution. He says the world evolves but the individual doesn't.
Yeah.
So you believe in that train of thought?
I do. Yeah. Well,
in a sense,
in a sense.
So you're like, people are smart but the individual person's stupid.
Yes and no. I feel like it's hard to try to like expand these ideas to like bigger ideas, which is why I liked when we were talking about chaos or order and like, is free will like a real thing? Because that's the same. That's kind of the same thing. Where like yes, with the individual doesn't change, but the individual would have to choose whether or not they don't want to change in order to stay within like society and like really be accepted by society. Right? I feel like I lost myself by saying that. Ask the question again.
I said,
from the top.
Do you believe what the guy was saying in the beginning, that the world evolves, but the individual does not?
I think in certain cases, I think that the individual can choose whether or not they want to like evolve along with the society.
But I feel that because I don't 100% disagree with you. I do agree in some sense. But I think it's also just because there's a saying that people never change. People are always the same person that they're always going to be. But I think that can be unfair because people can change, and I've met people that have changed.
Yeah.
But I don't think change is always a conscious decision.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us can change and become different people without realizing it. I don't think the person that I am today is not the same person I was 5 years ago. But it's not like I made a conscious decision to be like, I want to be a different version of me. I think it just kind of happened organically.
Yeah.
Through my life experiences.
Because you're understanding.
But like you made the decisions to get you to where you are, you know?
But not just that, because like I have influences with interactions that I have with other people. And like, I guess I had made the decision to have those relationships. But I feel like I've been influenced by people and evolved as an individual without really realizing it. Like with my partner, she's a far more like caring person when we got together than I was. And now when I see myself and I look at situations through my interactions with her, and I guess the influence she's had on me, I now look at things in a softer way than I did beforehand, but I never made the decision to like change that aspect of myself, right? And then also changing. I feel like can be seen as a negative, but I didn't realize until I noticed my brain starts to process and understand things in a different way than it did before, just by my interactions and my conversations with her. And it
Yep.
was not a conscious thing that I was doing. It's just kind of something that happened. So I feel like in that sense, this is one specific sense I can think of, but I feel like in that sense, we can change organically without necessarily deciding that we want to do it. It just happens.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think
I'm gonna.
I think it's I don't think it's black and white always. I think it's like gray.
Yeah.
I think all of these ideas and concept they fall in like a really like gray zone where it's not always one or the other. I think things kind of like shift and like evolve over time, and yeah, people do change and they can choose to like consciously do it or not. But I think it's always like it's always kind of gray. There's people who are going to fall within that specific range, and there's people who are going to be like the outliers and they're not, or there's people who are just going to straight up not. It's kind of like a wave, or I guess
Yeah.
better like a spectrum of just thoughts and ideas.
Yeah, because to kind of like bounce off of what you were saying, Dale. Yeah, you didn't make the conscious effort to change, but you did make the choice to be with her, and maybe subconsciously you saw those qualities in her and you're like, damn, I kind of want to be more like that. So I want to have a relationship with this person because of her caring and nurturing nature. And that was something that you chose.
Right. But I guess it's like, it kind of reminds me of what another quote. It's like, your neurons don't care if you're like awake or asleep. Like, even if my subconscious did it, I don't know that I did it, right? Because I can't
Yeah.
access my subconscious. So I guess like from that sense, like my neurons don't care if I'm awake or asleep. They're gonna do their thing anyways. So part of me did it without me knowing it. Subconsciously, if you do it, like, sure, obviously that is a part of you that's doing it. But at the same time, I didn't know that I was doing it. It just
Yeah.
kind of, to me, it just kind of happened over time. Even though part of me made the decision, I feel like that's why I feel like I was saying, like, from the beginning of this conversation about how we never know who we are because we're never the same person, because we're always changing whether we want to or not, whether it's conscious or unconscious. Like, sure, I've made conscious decisions. I don't want to smoke cigarettes anymore, so I stopped doing that. But there's
Mhm.
other decisions that I'll make. Life has its way of influencing you in ways that we don't always see. And I feel like we could do that to ourselves, and that's how we're always changing. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. We hope that it's mostly good, I feel like.
Yeah.
I think that I think that comes from a place of understanding, because you're you were able to have these conversations with your partner and like understand her point of view because she was like giving you all of these different, I don't know, maybe like it makes sense to you, and so because you understand it that way, it's easier to just like kind of process things in that way now as like a whole, you know. Do
Yeah,
you think
that could be it too.
Yeah.
I like how this movie's just made us get so philosophical and like
So after meet, the song was saying, after he meets with the store clerk guy, he just starts rerunning into people again. And I think it's interesting because the store clerk guy, the slash boat driver, and then the last person I believe he talks to is the guy who originally told him where to go, where he got hit by the car. But in
Mhm.
between that, he talks to the girl that he made eye contact with on the train, and he doesn't remember her, but she remembers him. And not much really happens in this scene. It just seems like she's trying to like kind of hit on him, and he's like, I'm good. Like, I ain't trying to do this. Like, I'm trying to get out of my dream. But I do think it's interesting that in his own dream state, a subconscious, well, I guess she became a subconscious memory, came to the forefront, and he didn't remember her at all. And he remembers everybody else. I thought that was interesting because they have a clear, distinct moment in the beginning of the movie. Like, they lock eyes, like the camera holds on it, like they exchange glances. Like, you see, they get to do a good job of animating the recognition. And then when it comes back later on in the movie, like he absolutely has no recollection of her, but the dream remembers him. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
All these like, what's it called? He has like all these interactions back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The from when he meets the convenience store guy, like the movie kind of rapid shoots him like a bunch of random shit. Like the old lady shows him a painting. His like interactions are really fast. And Twan
Mhm.
brought up a good point. Like if we're looking at the movie from the point of view that he's dying, maybe this is like his brain just like firing shit out like rapid style. Because he's trying to like he's like near the end. Because then we get to the pinball wizard and he talks about this book by Philip K. Dick, where it's talking about this thing called like he's explained to the pinball wizard. I was like he can't wake up, and he's talking about like this idea of false awakenings
Mhm.
and how like Philip K. Dick had this false awakening and how he believes that like life's an illusion and we're all stuck in 50 AD and there's only one instant and it's right now, it's eternity. I thought that was interesting about like everything's a dream. That's what Philip K. Dick believes.
Yeah.
Sounds like Philip K. Dick's kind of crazy.
Phil K. Dick was tripping.
Imagine like you're going through life thinking like this is 50 AD. I'm asleep right now. That's a wild way to think. Well, what did you think about this like last conversation? Because well, I'll jump to the beginning of the movie and let's talk about it in context. Um, he walks into some dude's house. He's walking down the street, and the movie ends at it begins. But this time, he actually floats into space, and the movie just cuts.
Yeah, he tries to hold on to the door handle, but he can't.
He can't.
It's like one of those dream things where like you try to punch and it's like you have no power and he just couldn't grip it and he just either he couldn't grip it or he just let himself
be
float.
pulled.
Cause this guy, he has that conversation with them, right? It's like it's up to you to, like we're all dreaming and or whenever we dream it's us going to God and it's like we get a preview of what the afterlife is and every time we wake up it's us saying no I'm not ready to go and then when we finally say yes we like allow ourselves to float up into heaven or whatever the fuck you believe in.
Yeah, he says that's why he says that life is a story of going from no to yes.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
And that was what I wanted to tie back to the very beginning. It is that in this conversation, the pinball guy says like time is God's invitation. And the story is moving from no to yes. Yes, I accept. And so I think in this final like last segment of the movie, I think he's kind of beginning to like understand what's going on. He's moving from no to yes. And so in the beginning, when he's getting lifted up and he's a little kid, he's like holding on and he's no. And it's him trying to come to terms with the fact that he has died. And like he's now basically he has to come to terms with the fact that he's going to say yes. And so after this conversation, he's back at that car at the very beginning that we see at the beginning of the movie, and he's like agrees to it, and he kind of like lightly grasps it, but he just kind of floats off into the distance.
Yeah, he allows himself,
which I think is interesting because I feel like when you hear it all the time when you're falling in a dream, and then when you hit the floor, it's like you wake up. But him like waking up is him floating off, so it's really him letting go.
Yeah,
which I think is good symbolism as to him being dead.
Yeah.
But I also understand your point because I think he died when he got hit by the car.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't really make sense
because of the note.
Because of the note.
Yeah.
But it could be the last instant, right? So maybe the note didn't actually say that. Maybe he just heard the car and he looked left.
Yeah.
But his brain's remembering him saying, "Look left."
Yeah. Yeah, it could be that too. But I think the reason why the pinball master dude is like stuck there is because he's not able to say yes. And the only reason why, like, the only way for him to get out of it is to say yes. And so I think he realizes that in this conversation, and that's why
He says yes.
he says yes. And then the movie's over because he's finally able to get out. The final escape room has been escaped.
What a fucking wild ride of a movie this was.
I know.
Yeah.
But well, I think we talked through the movie a good amount, so I think we should jump into our interesting facts. Sorry, audience, but this is like our 4th hour, so I want to keep as much of our conversation as possible, so kind of speed through our other segments, or we could just do a
Rapid
4-hour
fire.
pod and say fuck it. All right, so I got a couple. I said some of them during the recording, but so this movie had a budget of $2 million and it made 3.2 million. But I think its budget is like 100% on the way they made the movie, because they filmed the movie in 3 weeks,
Yeah.
but it took
Yeah.
15 months to animate it. That's
Crazy.
wild.
You could see all the love and care that they put into it because I mean it's really well animated.
Oh, the animation is dope. The rotoscope animated, that's really fucking cool. And I guess the title of the movie comes from an Edgar Allan Poe poem titled Dreams. It says a little quote from it is, "What better than cold reality of waking life?"
Hmm.
I like Edgar Allan Poe. He's a sad boy, but he has some good shit. And then the pinball is the same pinball that was used in Dazed and Confused.
Nice.
Nice.
The director has come forth and not really apologized for Alex Jones, but he's like, I thought he was a funny guy. I didn't think he'd ever become famous, so I put him in the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. It's okay. I forgive him.
And I guess there's some scenes in this movie that also carry parallels to another movie that he made called Slackers or Slacker. So he references Slacker. He has bits from Dazed and Confused and the Before Sunrise characters, the Before characters make an appearance, which I think is kind of interesting. I guess you can see the love and care that he has for this movie and his other properties that he's worked on. And my last one, which I think is pretty cool, Akira Kurosawa's movie Dreams is shown during the Monkey film along with a clip from Kurt Cobain.
Nice.
You guys got any interesting facts?
I got one, and it's just
Shoot it.
for you. That
Shoot it.
this film is included on Roger Ebert's great movie list.
Mm. Yeah, I have that written down too. Yeah, he gave it 4 out of 4 stars.
Damn, perfect movie.
And he says it's a cold shower of bracing, clarifying ideas.
Deep. That might actually be deeper than the movie itself.
No, I think the movie's still deeper.
It was pretty deep.
Yeah.
Should we jump into our reviews?
Yep.
All right. So before we get started, Rotten Tomato gave this movie an 81%, which I found surviving. I found surprising because Rotten Tomatoes loves artsy fartsy shit. So I thought for sure this is going to be like the 90th percentile. But nope, it's an 81. Excuse me. And IMDb gave it a 7.7. All right. Saya, since you've seen it twice, why don't you start us off? What is your review?
I give this movie a big old girthy B. The animation was awesome. That's what originally pulled me in. The hard part that was hard to digest, and it really took me like a second watch through, and then also talking to you guys about it. Like originally I was C plus. But this conversation that we had that took us 4 hours to do helped me change my score to a B, because I just like the way it really made us like contemplate a lot of like pretty big philosophical ideas. It's not an easy movie, like for sure. And I think we said it before. If you watch this, recommend you watching it with like someone else or maybe a group of people, and be ready to have like a conversation to talk about it. I think you need to talk about this movie. Otherwise, you'll just be sitting with all these different thoughts, and some of them won't make sense because some of these ideas don't make sense. unless you're already in philosophy and unless you're in philosophy and these ideas make sense to you, then cool. But if not, it's a little harder. It was harder for me to digest all of that, but I like the conversation that it sparked. And I liked kind of the overall like plot of it, of this kid like dying and kind of trying to process like what's going on with him. I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know if I watch again, I would probably have to watch like mildly altered, because I do want to see those visuals again, because some of those visuals are really really dope. Twan.
This movie was unique. It is definitely one of a kind when it came to, the animation style. Felt like a painting come to life. Like there was a lot of times in the movie where it felt like it was like breathing almost. There's obviously there's a lot to analyze about this movie. There's a lot of themes to kind of dissect, and I feel like it's almost like it's up to the individual as to what, how they're gonna take this movie. It's definitely not for everyone. Felt like a movie that you watch in school, like in community college, or even like the later years of high school. But with all of that being said, I gave it a C, just because it was hard to watch. It definitely was a lot smarter than I am, and it at times made me feel uh, inadequate. But after talking with you guys, and kind of going into a lot of the themes in segments, definitely made me appreciate the movie a little bit more. I wouldn't say that it's going to change my overall score. I still say it's a C, only because I don't know, it wasn't really a movie more than it was like a animated documentary about like dreams and lucid dreams. But yeah, again, I feel like it's up to the individual as to what they would rate this movie. And for me personally, it was a C. I don't know who I would recommend this movie to. Definitely, I mean, if you're academically inclined, check this movie out because it really has you thinking. But if you're looking for just, something to pass the time, something entertaining, like this is not it. This is something that you have to think about, and it forces you to think, and it forces you to have outside thoughts rather than just like, damn, I had fun watching this movie. Like, but yeah, C.
Nice. Okay, so I'll finish this off. I gave this movie a B minus. I had it at a C also. I left this movie being like, this movie is pretentious as fuck. But after discussing it and kind of going through kind of like the screenplay of it and seeing that a lot of experts were used in making of this film, I thought originally, I'm like, is this like just a director trying to tell us like all his like philosophies on life and shit? Like that's kind of weird. And this is a weird movie. I love the point that you brought up. It's interesting, Twan, that it's like more of a documentary. I think that's interesting. Yeah, it seems like it's like an exploration on the different philosophies on like life and death
Yeah.
and all that, which I think was which is pretty cool. Like I said, I after I got over the initial hump of like not understanding or trying to find the thread of the movie and just kind of appreciated it for what it was in the second half, the movie definitely grew on me more. The conversation that we had while doing this bumped it up to a B minus for me. I thought because the movie was pretty thought provoking. There's multiple times where I stopped and I just made me think. So I really like that. But this movie is hard to digest. It's a lot. It's not necessarily a fun ride. It is a very it's not really a movie, but if you want to hear some interesting ideas and think about things in a different light, it's good. It's a good group watch. Just make sure, just be prepared for not a super entertaining movie, and the conversation that can come from it could be pretty cool. Hopefully you, the viewers, like this conversation, but I give it a B minus. All right, boys.
Right.
Is it about that time?
Yeah,
So we will it and dill it. All right. I don't know if did you guys see the Unicorn Wars movie? I really want to add that movie to the list. It looks fucking ridiculous. Are there rules to adding to the list? We didn't discuss it. Are we only letting the audience?
fucking add it.
Yeah, I'm gonna add it. I saw a clip on Instagram for a movie called Unicorn Wars, which looks fucking stupid. So I'm adding it to the list because.
Hold on, I came across a movie a while ago. Let me
If we're doing editions, I got a bunch of editions.
just rapid fire. Adam.
Wait, no, I actually only have 3. Ready to Rumble and 3,000 Miles from Graceland.
Wait, ready? Is that with that's the
Dewey?
wrestling
Is that the wrestling movie?
Yeah, with Dewey.
Nice.
with Dewey. Nice. Yeah, I love that movie.
Surf Ninjas.
Surf Ninjas?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Surf Ninjas. All right.
Brought to us by the dude who made our he made our intro music.
Mirror image.
Oh, nice. All right, so we do have an edition from shout out Instagram title Bogus Tank, other Instagram title Mirror Image.
Mirror dot image.
Mirror dot image. We actually have never given him a shout out because
I thought we did.
we give him a shout out before, but we gotta give him a shout out every pod. But he did the intro music to for the podcast. He's a very talented DJ. You should listen to his music. Right. What was your edition, Twan?
Fuck, I can't find it. It was like something about like kangaroos, like karate kangaroos.
Oh, Warriors of Virtue.
Yeah, Warriors of Virtue.
It is it is a ridiculous movie. Warriors of Virtue. I've seen this.
Do we have Super Mario Bros on it? With
the original?
Yeah, with
John Leguizamo?
Leguizamo.
Let me see. I don't think we do. No, we don't. I'll add it.
Sick.
The 1991 one, right?
Yeah.
Super Mario.
What about the 2023 one with Chris Pratt?
I like that one. It's a good nostalgia movie.
I think that one actually hit though. It's not a.
Yeah, that movie was a massive hit.
Yeah.
It was a huge hit. Share screen. Oh, let me make this bigger.
So I saved this picture back in February, but it was a Facebook page that said that cult classic 80s movies getting a surprise sequel with the original director and new lead, and it's fucking Repo Man.
Repo Man's getting a sequel?
Yeah.
Crazy.
No way.
The sequel no one asked for.
Right.
I mean, the people love it apparently. I wasn't a fan. All right, I'm gonna shuffle them. All right, ready?
Yep.
Let's see what we get. I wonder if it'll be a new edition. That'd be kind of funny.
That happened last time.
It did. We got a
Fifth
crowd
Element.
ass on like right off the bat. What do we got? No way, it's kind of darkly. Okay.
Nightbreed.
Hot
Hot
Fuzz.
Fuzz.
Surf Ninjas.
Josie and the Pussycats.
3,000 Miles of Graceland.
Warriors of Virtue.
Yep.
No. Yo, this is the second week in a row Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey almost got picked.
Warriors of Virtue. All right, everybody. So next week we are covering the 1990s kids cult classic movie Warriors of Virtue. Do you like Kung Fu? Do you like kangaroos? You're in for a treat. Well, thank you guys for joining us. This week we covered Waking Life. I don't even think there's an A. Waking Life, trippy ass animated movie. It's worth checking out. You know, a little hard to swallow, but if you're in for thinking while watching a movie, you know, give it a go. Just a quick reminder for everybody: if you want to donate to the pod, we'd appreciate it. All you have to do is click the donation link at the bottom of each episode. Any donations go to producing the pod, paying for the various programs that we use. But if you can't, that's totally cool. Pod's free. We love making the pod. We love having you guys join us each week. And yeah, keep coming by. If you haven't followed us on our social medias, please go ahead and do so. We are on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, X/Twitter, and Threads. As always, I have been your host, The Dale, followed by my two co-hosts, Mr. Saya.
Remember, if you ever don't know if you're dreaming, try to turn on a light.
And Twan.
A tiger can jump a distance of 20 feet.
Sick.
That's
Catch
crazy.
you guys next week.
That's actually terrifying.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Love you.